Good morning and welcome to our series on Coffee Mornings with Hopetown. We had begun this series last year, and as I had shared with you in our first episode, this is an exclusive platform for our parent body where they come in and share their experiences and journey as an integral member of the Hopetown family. In our second episode of Coffee Mornings with Hopetown, I have with me Miss Garima, who is a parent to our student Nitya Bansal, who is currently a student of grade 7. Welcome, Miss Garima.
Good morning, Miss Rajni.
Good morning. Let me introduce Miss Garima to you a little more beyond being just a parent. Miss Garima is an entrepreneur and a trainer. She has conducted many trainings on personality development and grooming skills across different age groups. She is blessed with 2 lovely daughters, whom she says supports her and makes it possible for her to make all her dreams come true. And she is also someone who believes that young people should be trained to be independent thinkers to ensure a secured and a good future. That's really beautiful, Ms. Garima, and welcome once again to Coffee Mornings with Hopetown.
Thank you for this honor. Thank you so much.
Welcome. So we're going to talk a lot today and get to really know you a little more and get you to share a little bit more of your journey with Hopetown family. So let me begin by asking you my first question, which is, how did you come to know about Hopetown Girls School?
Last year, I shifted to my native place, and while looking for good schools, no school clicked what I wanted for my child. Because in these formative years, where she's starting grade 7, I wanted a school which gives a holistic environment to her. So then the residential school came to my mind. I asked my middle school computer teacher, who's very dear to us. So he gave us 2 options, and one was ICSE and the second one was CBSE. So she has been part of ICSE from grade 1. Right. So I chose Hopetown for that matter.
Okay. That's nice. Very interesting to hear that, how little decisions work out. But so you said you looked for schools, you asked around for, what is a good residential school to go to. But then why did you choose a residential school for your daughter?
Miss Rajni, my thought was only one. I just wanted a very good school for Nitya. So let it be in my place. Let it be a residential school. My only focus was a good school with a very healthy environment for my child.
Right.
So those were the only needs. So the Hopetown in every matter, and with my experiences with Hopetown from last 6 months, fall into that place. So this was after I registered, but before that, I heard from a lot of parents. So they all gave me a very positive feedback on how their children are well cared, and they are really taken care of. So that all fitted into my choice of a good school for my daughter.
Right. I know when you especially put your daughter in a residential school, I think the whole aspect of care and emotional well-being, I think is priority more than anything else. And I know once any parent feels connected or satisfied about that, it just makes it easier for the parent to take that decision. Thank you for sharing that. If I may ask you a little more specifically, so while you were exploring residential schools, what was it specifically, one thing about Hopetown that really struck you?
No, so actually, because the teacher that referred me or suggested me this school, we, or personally me, have a very close connection with the people who were part of my middle school journey. So from grade 7 to grade 12, I was fortunately under a very good group of teachers. And those teachers have made a very big impact in my life. So they do play a very important role. They are not present in front of me, but in the teachings that they have done for me, those play a very important role. So for me, the middle school or the or this part of your life is very important for your life decisions in the future, for your friends, what friends you make, and uh, for a lot of memories that you make. So when the teacher told me, "Ke, you go for this," or he believes in this school, my decision was very clear. After that, I didn't make any research.
Hmm. Right, right. So the confidence with which this person spoke to you about the school made you feel that you could trust Hope Town, and hence you just went ahead with it. I think most decisions in life are like that, no? That
Yeah, yeah.
it's that one instinct you get, and you know that, once you get that instinct, you know that this is how you would like to take it forward. And
So
it
it
happens with
was,
some of the most critical
yeah,
decisions in life.
it
Yes.
was a very intuitive decision.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. And I think that shows, how much you trust the school, and, how much you felt connected to the school. So that was a really beautiful journey to hear. So, Miss Garima, tell me, how was Nitya's experience with Hope Town when she joined, even though, we were virtual at that time because of the COVID-19 crisis?
While she was on the online classes, the teachers took, because she joined late, she missed the initial part of the school. So the school took the responsibility of conducting extra classes for Nitya, and a separate timetable only for her was made.
Yeah.
So that was like really phenomenal. The second part was the section teacher uh, gave a responsibility to Sanvi, who's her classmate, and the girl kept a very close check on Nitya, on all her doings, on all the homeworks, regarding the setting, and getting her familiar with the apps, with the classmates. So that was like really, really nice. So she actually didn't feel any kind of loneliness. And when they opened online, she was like, just pack the bags, and she was into
Hmm.
the school.
Right. Right.
So that kind of environment, they already made it for Nitya while she was doing the online classes.
Hmm. Thank you, Ms. Garima, actually, for sharing that, because you brought in a very, very important system that we have in place for school for all our new students who join. One is, when our new students join, our first month after they join is completely geared towards helping them settle. And what you talked about, where one of her peers supported her, it's called, in our school we call it the guardianship or the buddy system, where we assign one student to one of the new students who joined, basically helping her to settle down in school, understand the schedule of the school, the one person to go to, if she has any questions or if she's feeling homesick. So this is apart from all the other systems that we have for our new students. This is one system. And I feel so happy that Nitya benefited from the system, because this is so important for a new child who's, leaving home and settling in a new place. I think that emotional security is something that's very, very important. And I'm so happy that Nitya made the most of, that opportunity that was given to her. So thank you for making a note of that and for sharing that in this discussion. My next question to you is that, what are your thoughts about education, and how does Hopetown fit within that thought process that you have?
Ms. Rajani, I have been educator from last 20 years. And all these years, there is a different definition that I have come up with.
Hmm.
And that definition is how we treat people,
Right.
is what education means to me. So, yeah, education is bit of the skills that we possess, the talents that we hold, the knowledge that we gather. All these things are there. but the real education is how we handle people. So that is there. How we handle ourselves. So how do we manage our stress? How do we manage our emotions? So all these fall under my definition of education.
Right.
So and Hopetown was brilliant. It was brilliant, and that is what I really love about it. And that instinct, as I told you earlier, that instinct, that decision of sending my daughter to Hopetown was with this feeling. They handled before registration. They handled the whole thing with such a good care, with that connection that that I had fallen in love with Hopetown.
How sweet of you to say that.
Yeah. So during the registration process, there were two teachers, the head teachers, who had made they form a very personal meeting with me as a parent, and they inquired about what my expectations was from the school. I've never heard that from other schools.
That is
so
true. Yeah.
So it's like so good. Okay, fine. So these are your expectations. This is what we can do, and how we can just join together and give that complete environment, the complete development to that child. So that is what education is for me. So Nitya is just not doing subjects there. She's just not doing math. She's just not doing science experiments. She is helping children if they are homesick. There is a nanny who's making her a ponytail, and then she's giving a good massage to Nitya.
Right.
So that care, that affection. So if she has anything that's troubling her, with her thoughts, with her feelings, there's always a teacher around her. So that is phenomenal, and that is what I wanted for her.
That's so nice to hear, Ms. Garima, that you feel that is something that Nitya gets here. And I completely agree. I think that was amazing what you shared about the most important thing is that we learn how to treat people. And I think that stands very true for me also, and even for our institution. And you would see that in the way in which girls conduct themselves, and we've heard that many times, that our children are rooted in the tradition and culture, and at the same time are at par with whatever is there in the modern world, but they are rooted to their culture and they're rooted to their tradition, and learn how to treat each other respectfully. So and thank you so much for sharing that. There is nothing more I can kind of put into words to what you shared, but that was just beautiful to listen to, Ms. Garima. When the school decided to open physically, what is it about Hopetown, or what is it maybe in the systems that were put in place by Hopetown that made you assured that you can send your daughter back to school physically?
So as I mentioned earlier, the trust was already developed. So it was already in place. So it was just again packing the bags and going. So whatever the school gave us, the mails, the protocols to be followed, there was no questions, there was no queries, nothing. It was just we followed suit. And there are two things which I would like to mention here, because how they handled COVID was also a very important point here. So my daughter was given the responsibility to take temperatures every day in the morning. So mornings, she was given that responsibility. So in these 2 years, I haven't taken any temperature for my family members, or it's just that if they show symptoms, we would then. But the school taking a good care again on a medical part. The doctor was available on the phone. So the teachers were, even if you call them at 9:30 during the night, they would always pick up the phone and they would answer. So while going there, it was again the assurance was already built. It was the stories that she shared with me. was very, very beautiful. I actually became jealous of
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So COVID. So even if COVID is not there or COVID is there, um, I find that Hope Town will be able to take any uncertainties, anything in a very, very effective manner.
Thank you, Ms. Garima. That's very kind of you to say something like that. But as you rightly put, I think, transparency in our communication with parents about all COVID arrangements in school. And, the physical and the medical arrangements is one thing. But I think, like you mentioned, we also invested a lot on emotional support, because children were coming back to school after a very long spell of being at home. And so there was that disconnect, of having been away from school for so long. So I think a combination of emotional support plus extremely well thought out systems by our health and safety team, I think, was, I would say, contributed to almost all our parents sending their children back to school. So thank you. It's just an absolute pleasure to hear that from a parent, because it gives us as a school a lot of confidence and a lot of feedback, in terms of what we are doing well and what can be taken forward in terms of dealing with these pressures of COVID times. So, Ms. Garima, if you were to give a message to all parents, say who are considering at the moment about a residential school and in specific for Hopetown, what would that one message be for those parents?
So the message would be, the moment that they enter Hopetown, they will see it as a family. So the whole system will be like a family for them. And once they are out of Hopetown, they will come out as a very strong and a positive personality. So this is what I can say about.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Garima. One last question before we end this episode. What's that one change you see in Nitya today after she's spent some time at Hopetown, which makes you feel you've taken the right decision?
She is much more vibrant child. Yeah, she is making memories. She has stories to say. So it's been like 20 days from now since their holidays.
Right.
So yeah, so every day she comes up with a new memory that she has already lived. And she talks about her friends. She talks about, so she is totally in awe with the whole 2 months of their stay in Hopetown. So that vibrancy, that spark in her eyes makes me feel that she's a happy child. So that gives me the confidence. Yes.
I can assure you, Ms. Garima, with what you just shared, it's going to make all teachers and everybody connected with Hopetown's welfare just jump up on their seats. Because this is exactly what we want. Our school, everything that we do in our school is to ensure that we have happy children, happy students at the end of the school. Because a happy school where children are happy can only be a successful school. So
beautiful,
it's absolutely nice to hear.
Beautiful thought, and that this thought is what matches the decision.
Right.
So yeah, and I right now I just come up with a thought. The fees that I'm paying, it's only for the environment. This is what because I right now don't know how many subjects she has and what is she studying, what homework she submitted. But it's a beautiful environment, a very, very nice and a pleasant environment for your child. So I have done it right.
That was nice, Ms. Garim. I loved that. And I mean, what you shared through all your responses to the different questions that were asked today so beautifully sums up the value and the culture of Hopetown. I don't think it could have been put in, better in any other way than what you have shared. So it was an absolute delight interacting with you, Ms. Garima. And we really hope that we are able to further strengthen this relationship in the future. The beauty of Hopetown and the happiness of Hopetown comes from their parents as well. And it's just a very joyful experience to hear that from a parent. So thank you so much, Ms. Garima, for joining us today on Coffee Mornings with Hopetown. And thank you for giving your time to interact with us and share your experiences with us. To all the audience out there, that was Ms. Garima for all of you. And thank you so much for listening to us. Please watch out for our next episode on our Coffee Morning series with Hopetown. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.